Hey guys, I finally got on. I don't know what's going on, but I have to learn this new software, I guess. Another thing to learn. And I hadn't gone live like this since last week. And last week we had Classic up. And then it said I could choose Classic, and then it didn't let me choose Classic. So I don't know who's here. I don't know whether I need to mute anything. Let me know if you're in the chat. I think I can see the chat up and out right now, but I don't see anybody right now. It looks like 8 people are here, 11 people. Thank you for being so patient with me. I knew about this, and I got some notifications that people were doing update videos, so I got to go and watch that, I guess, or get an encoder, or I can choose webcam, which I hadn't seen at first, but now I did. Is there any kind of an echo or anything? And I love the fact that I can see the chat right here. I don't have to open another window, but let me know. I'm sure it's a lot more convenient for us. But you know how it is. Change is good. Absolutely good. You either change or you die in a lot of instances, right? That's kind of the topic of today as well. About A-listing and getting your items sold. Oh my goodness, my glasses are really smudged. I don't think I have a cleaner here. I just cleaned them and they're not getting any better. But I'm so glad you're joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this type of series. Not only do I love and collect jewelry, but I also love turning a profit with it. I love curating it and loving it, and then moving it on and selling it. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. I have been selling on eBay for a long time. I've sold on Mercari, still do. Sell on Posh, sell on Amazon, sell on Facebook. What's left? Etsy, just about everywhere. I think there's room for everything. Competition is an absolute blessing of capitalism, and I, for one, am a proponent of that. So that's kind of what we talk about here. I also will always try to adhere to the 4 Ps of marketing, which, as you may or may not know, is product, price, placement, and promotion. And I guess we're talking placement right now. We're going to talk eBay. If you are new to the channel, guys, be sure and subscribe today. I think you'll love the content here. We have a lot of fun talking and showing jewelry. We go on ride-alongs, and now that the season is here, I mean, it's pretty much year-round here in Texas. I live in Houston, but the days are beautiful. They're not quite hot like they will be in a month or so. And they're great for going out to estate sales and garage sales. So I'll bring you with me. I'll show you that. I'll show you what I find. I love showing you my latest and greatest thrift hauls, as well as my sales videos. I used to do a lot of sales videos on my eBay sales, but then I wasn't getting very many views on those. So I kind of mostly concentrating on bringing you the sales videos for jewelry, because that seems to be a big draw. And why not? It's a great product to sell. It is very convenient to store. It is something that I think a lot of people love. And if you don't love what you're sourcing, I think after a while you quit. Like, I know I used to source a lot of clothing, and I love clothes, I really do. But it was getting to the point where it was taking up a lot of real estate, and I really wanted to concentrate more on designer clothing and things that are really worth the real estate, instead of just, you know, an Old Navy jacket and flipping it for $10 when it's been in the garage for 10 months. So that's the kind of thing the thing I'm concentrating on today. But we are going to talk about eBay, why I love it, why I hate it, why I can't quit it. And I know you've all felt the same way. Let me take a look at the chat. People may be telling me I'm echoing all kinds of stuff, and I haven't read it. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Jennifer is here. Anita, Gloria Gonzalez, Guillermo, thanks for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Oh, I love this chat. It's so cool. It's in black background with bold lettering and everything. Yeah, it's interesting. This, I guess I have to have an encoder, or I could do the webcam, but it's very convenient, and I hope I can manage it a little bit better next time and not keep you waiting. Kim Webster's here. Thank you so much for being here, Kim. Kimmy T, Aged Goddess. I know a few of you people came over from Kelly's channel. I appreciate that. Shout out, Kelly. And Kelly is Hip Flippin' Mama there in the chat. Be sure to subscribe to her if you haven't already. No. I wasn't waiting. I was struggling with this new software, Kelly. we're not all as sharp as you, you know. This software is difficult to learn sometimes. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. The 4 reasons. I'm going to retitle the video. It's just that I had to do it like 4 times, and I'm going to retitle it, the 4 reasons why what I hate about eBay and why I can't quit. And the first one, I guess, is I want to kind of give you an analogy of a toxic relationship. Because, you know, you have this relationship with a person or a family member, and they're wonderful to you one day, and they're so sweet, and they gift you with all kinds of wonderful things, and everything is working out fine. And then all of a sudden they verbally abuse you, or they betray you in some way. But then you still have that honeymoon period, as they call it, and then they make up for it again, and so forth and so on. So that's kind of what eBay really, I think it kind of plays with our emotions that way. They have this endless barrage of updates where no one really bothers to read them. I know I don't. I watch some of the YouTubers on here, the reseller community, that love to go, you know, point by point with their little talking points about it, and then I get the gist of it. And then I wind up a little confused because, I don't know, some of the things are a little bit inconvenient for us. Now we have to do the, what do you call it? The good to cancel. That was a new update, which people scoffed about. But in the end, I always liked good till cancel. I always thought it was a wonderful thing. Deborah over at Pinching Pesos always was a proponent of it and loved the way that, or said that was a good way to have your items on Google search. That it really made it more easy for people to find it on Google search when it was there, when they may have seen it at one time and then they go back and it's not there. And this was actually a good thing. I think people are now falling in love with it again as well. But of course, you know, attached with that is the little glitches, the little wrenches that they throw in there. Like now you really have to renew on time because you'll wind up with another fee. Or not renew, but you have to take it down if it's something that's not moving and you're stuck with it. So that's not a good thing. Let me go back up here and see who else came in. Tammy, how are you? Thank you for being here. And Deb Kendall, and I think I said hello to Anita as well. So yeah, that's just one of the things that we're always like, oh, are they going to do that again? And now we have to do this, and now we have to learn that. And that's one reason right there. Endless updates, but then in the end, we find out that good to cancel is not that bad. Then they did the new starter store. Okay, just at the brink when I was going to quit the stores. I had only got a store a couple of years ago. I had been an eBay power seller for 12 years, and I only got a store 2 years ago. Because I am, thank you so much, Kelly. I ironed it yesterday and put some oil. I had always been kind of a, what was I saying? What was I talking about? See, that's what happens. Oh, the stores. I was going to shut it down because I was paying a lot of attention to Poshmark, and I was paying a lot of attention to Macari, and I was still forking out $39.99 for that beginner store. So while a lot of people thought, well, it's really expensive now if you want to get the anchor store, and that's true. And again, I'm speaking from a part-time position here. I am not a full-time reseller, but it is definitely a big, big part of my income. So in a way, it was a blessing to me because now for $19.99, I have a store. And I can still get the free tape, and I can still get the discounted shipping. As long as I maintain my status as a power seller, high-rated seller, high-ranking seller, I get those discounts. So again, there's that love-hate relationship with this toxic boyfriend of mine. I just can't get over it, right? In a way, it was a blessing for me. Now $19.99 is no big deal for me. It really is a lot better. Yeah, I think there's a little bit of extra fees when you want to do an auction, and they only allow you so many, but it was working out better for me because I was cheating on that boyfriend. I did have other ones to please. I had to go to Posh. I had to go to eBay and Etsy and everywhere else. So in a way, it was good. What do you guys think? You love eBay so far? Good. I think so. Yeah, definitely. And we loved being with Posh. Posh is fabulous, and I still do Posh as well. But that's number one. Number two of the reason that I can't stand eBay is that they're really, really whack, for lack of a better word. they do crazy things to your listings. One, they take down things for vero, what they call vero, right? So if you put a picture that's, to me, mediocre, but they take it down because they think it's a stock photo. We had some pictures that we did for my sister. She sells a lot of luxury products, and it was a Chanel product. She took it with bad lighting, and like I said, I was just teaching her how to do it. And they pulled it down, and they said they could not have it up there because it looked like a stock photo. So she's like, what in the world? I said, maybe you should make it, not look so nice. Yet they still, endless counterfeits, endless Louis Vuittons from China and Japan that are counterfeit, and from everywhere else. Dooney and Burks that you can tell from a mile away, they're plastic and the little emblem is just about popping off, but they're still there. They're still there. So that's kind of crazy about eBay. They do that a lot. Then they also do things like duplicate listings. We ran into that, and I'm still running into that. Someone just texted me, and I thank you so much if you're out there. One of my subscribers texted me and said, didn't you just post this jewelry for sold in your sales video? And indeed I had just posted it. And I said, yeah, and I thought I took it down. Well, I went to look. It was a duplicate listing, and it was still up there. So that's the bad part. The good part, though, is that they do back you up. They are there when you have a complaint about something that you bought that was misrepresented. They do listen to your grievance, and they usually side with you. And I am going to contend this all the way to the grave. They know how long you've been selling. They know your record. They know everything about you. And they back you up if you've been with them for a long time. They really have. And they've told me that. They've told me it looks like you've been here a long time. And whenever I've had anything like that, they either refund my money and let the other, if the time has passed or something, they let the buyer off easy as well. Or people complain that it was stolen. I had that happen not too long ago, where the guy actually showed me a picture. And I'm not doubting that he was lying, but he showed me a picture of the little bag with the boxes and padding and everything. It was a little piece of jewelry that it was stolen right from his P.O. box. Well, they investigated, and it took a little while, and they found out that he had waited a long time to report it. It had already been the 30-day whatever. But they went ahead and appeased both of us. We both got our money back. He had to file a police report, but he wound up getting his money back. And then I wound up getting my fees, my funds. So it was no problem there. So I really like that about eBay. I also like the fact that eBay has a phone. eBay has a customer line. It's on my speed dial, and I call them every time I have a problem with the thing, like number one, which was constantly changing things for us, constantly updating things that are supposed to be, better for us as sellers, but you may not understand. They're there. And whereas Mercari, you have to write an email. Posh, you have to have an email. 2 days later, you get a computer-generated response that they're going to be right with you. 10 days later, or I would say at least 5 days later, you may get a solution to your problem from Posh and Mercari. You may, but it took 3 emails. It took pictures. They want pictures of whatever, whether it's the shipping that arrived late or damaged, or you didn't get your funds, or they said it was, whatever. They want some kind of picture sent, and they take a good 5 days, and that's a good response. 5 days would be a good response. eBay doesn't do that. And you can scoff all day, and I've done it too. They're outsourced. They're in another country. Sometimes the accents are hard to understand, but we are a globalized world today. This is e-commerce. This is globalization. And we need to stop complaining about accents, start learning how to listen to the accent. It took me a while. I worked for a Pakistani gentleman years ago, for many years, wonderful man. And it took me a while to understand his accent. Once I listened, once I got past that irritated part about it, I understood his accent. And he even texted the same way. He texted with an accent, but he's the sweetest man. And if you just get past that, and they are just so, they have talked me through more things where I have been an hour or two on the online trying to get things ready, because I do have 2 stores, and trying to get my freebies or trying to get my coupon that I didn't claim a month ago, but they went ahead and let me have it. So that's what I still love about eBay and why I cannot quit it, because though it has their glitches, like, you know, those bad relationships, there's still something really endearing about it. And that's just a couple of them so far that they have a phone. Who else has a customer service phone? I don't know of any other on selling. I mean, Etsy doesn't. Etsy barely answers your email. I don't even know how to email Etsy. Of course, there's not that many problems on Etsy that I've had, but there have been a few where people have claimed this or that, or they didn't, or I wanted to cancel their item that got lost or whatnot. It's really, really hard, but eBay is not. eBay is, they answer that phone 24/7. So in the end, number 3, what was I going to say here? Oh, about it being global. We still have to go back. Yes, Mercari's cheaper. Yes, all of these things cost us more fees. Mercari's only 10%. With these new things, eBay can nickel and dime us to death. But in the end, those millions of eyes are coming from eBay. Those millions of eyes are coming from eBay. It is global. Not all the sites are global. eBay is. I sell so many things around the world. Mostly lately, I've been selling a lot of Nike shoes. Nike shoes. I sell a lot of Catholic things to Italy, Catholic jewelry with religious icons. And if it weren't for that global shipping that's basically trouble-free now, you don't have to fill out that pesky customs form. You don't have to figure out how much it's going to cost you and then have them cancel after you wrapped it up. You don't have to bother with any of that. You just send it directly to Kentucky. They take care of the rest of it. There's no claiming that it didn't arrive in Italy or whatnot. So you just cannot beat that. I think that's one of the most wonderful things about eBay. And that's what keeps me on that platform. Regardless of the fee, in the end, it really does balance itself out. And I just love that about it. All right. And then what is the number 4 thing, which we'll go back and talk about all of them, is that a lot of people say, oh, it's old school. Nobody even does eBay anymore. Not true. Not true at all. Their old adage from about 4 years ago was, if it's on your mind, it's on eBay. And that's absolutely true. That is absolutely the truth. eBay is like my Google. I go there first to look at what something is selling for. You may have worth point, that's fine for, you know, obscure things and oddities and whatnot, or unique items, and that's good, but that has a fee to it as well. But the first place I go to find out what that James Avery that I just found that I've never seen, I don't remember seeing it in the store, I don't remember anything about it. First thing I look is on eBay, and 9 times out of 10 I find it there. I found these very unique earrings that Elizabeth over at Makeup Zombie sold me. And they just look like little mermaids. That's all I put in was mermaid sterling earrings. And they had one signature on it, but I could barely make it out. But I put it in. I think I even misspelled it, and they found it. And I wound up making like $70 on those earrings that I bought for about $5 from Elizabeth. But I found them right there on eBay. So, yeah, you can go to your, you know, hip spots, the latte sipping people. That's fine. I love it too. I love Posh. I love Depop. I'll go try everything. But my loyalty will always be with eBay. Always. For jewelry, for clothing, for anything. That's where I go. I sold my phone not too long ago there as well. That's where I go. And another thing is the bids. People always said the auctions. Oh, they're done. Nobody wants auctions anymore. Everybody wants everybody wants that instant gratification, and they want it and they want it now. And yes, that's true. That's very true. But there is nothing like a bidding war. I told you about the pizza party last week in last week's show about how these 2 women at my middle school where my kids were going, my children were going, and it was like an 8th grade night or something. And this was a silent auction, and they had little things like little baskets of soaps and cute little things, but they had a party, which would have been basically 4 or 5 pizzas for the 8th grade, and the plates and so forth from just a local Pizza Hut. And it went to 500 because 2 very competitive women wanted it for their kids, and they skyrocketed those bids. We're seeing here on YouTube in our auctions or on Facebook, People will go and price things that are, bid up the items, skyrocketing for things that you're like, what? How did that happen? Well, competition. Competition is real. Ego is real. And people want to win, and they always will. Speaking of that, and speaking of glitches, I don't know how this Tory Burch necklace wound up on auction. It's another glitch. That's another whack thing about it. But it wound up on auction. I think I have 2 hours left on it. And I had listed it, but I didn't even think I had finished the draft, or I thought I had put it 30 days. And I certainly didn't start it at below 10. But it started at below 10. And right now, I don't know if it's still up on eBay, but I had like 15 bids on it. It hasn't gone that high. I'm hoping that people wait for the last minute and bid it up. But that's the kind of thing that will happen. It's got like 50 watchers, 7 bids. Last I looked, which was about an hour ago. And this is the one that my husband fixed, remember? The Tory Burch little acrylic. It's really pretty. It's quite stunning. But I had no idea it had gone up on auction, because I think the new store that I have now has the limits on auctions. So you start paying, I think, only like 15 cents extra if you, I think they give you 10 free auctions. I don't even know. I just start listing, and if they start adding a fee, then I'll think about whether I want to put it on auction or not. But yeah, so right now I'm thinking, I think I'm going to do more auctions. I think I'm going to take these pieces with the name, of course. You've got the product already ready, right? You got a good price because people love that cheap start on the auction. And you got it promoted. I think the auctions are promoted more than the good till cancels. So, and you got the placement on eBay with an auction. Nobody else does auctions that I know of. The popular Poshmark and all that. But I think auctions are here to stay. I think people love them. And I really don't see any reason to hate eBay for that. I really don't. I think if you start them at a nice, good price, you'll be good. Again, do not discount the auctions. Go back. If your jewelry is sitting for way too long, go back and put it on auction. Just enough to make maybe even, the cost maybe a little bit over, and you're shipping and you're done and you've moved it. You just can't beat that. So what do you guys think? Let me see if you have any questions in the chat. And I think that was all I was going to cover about eBay. I will do another site next week. I'm going to do Posh, and then I'll do Macari. All right. You haven't done any auctions either? I'm definitely going to do more, especially now that I've been trying to clearance out items, and I'm lowering things because I have a lot of jewelry, and I don't think I would wear this. I mean, it's pretty, but it's not something I'm totally in love with. But obviously, the name Move This promotion works for a little while. You have to have the product, really. The promotion is the auction. Plus, eBay has the paid promotions and whatnot. But again, that to me only gives you a temporary glitch. If you don't have something really exciting, they're not going to go for it in auction. You have to have something very unique or very different. And a lot of people do that too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, where when you have something really unique, you want to put it out there really high at first. Like if I hadn't sold that James Avery necklace that I found out through my Facebook group that it was very unique and retired and so forth, I would have put it pretty high. I would have probably put it at $900 or $800. That way I can gauge how many people went to view it. I think this has like 50 views, which is incredible to me for something that's only been on there a few days. And then I would have gauged, oh, that's a lot of interest. That really is a lot of interest. So I will start it at a reasonable price, not overly scare the bidders, but enough to make my money, and then let it ride in an auction. And it really does work. Auctions are incredible. And that's what I'm trying to do as well with clothing, even though the clothing, I'm just letting it go to cover my cost and to cover shipping. I'm not too, unless it's a designer item. And that's what I do with designer items. I give them a little bit of a test run, so to speak, with a very high price that I know not everyone's going to to slam down on the table quick and buy it. But I'll be able to understand if it's a unique enough item to garner a good auction, or it'll garner interest in that way of selling it. I think that'll be really, really important for us to do. Let me see if I have any questions here. What's the best source? Okay, now it seems like let me see if I can open this. Your chat is being cut off here. Let me see if I can expand it. There it is. Do you start auctions? Oh, no. I have done auctions once and I lucked out. No, twice. And the first time I lucked out, I started a 99-cent auction just for the heck of it, just to see what would happen. And it was for an instrument, which my daughter now wants 10 years later. She's looking for her flute. There was a little flute that she had from school. She never used it. And I put it up there at 99 cents, and it did sell for over $100. That was one. Then I did another one for collectible Camels, the cigarettes. It's a little tin with the camel and everything. Didn't go past $1. It didn't go past $1. I had already sold one years before, and I thought it would sell, and it didn't. So I don't risk it anymore. But I did want to try it. I just wanted to try that once, and I did. And it worked once, and the second time it didn't. And that's the whole thing of auctions. Everybody, I think that's part of the draw, is that you want to get that steal or deal, and steal and deal all at once would be great too. If you can get, a good profit from it, and that person can steal it once in a while, I think that's what makes them keep coming back. I know that's why we come back to the ones here on YouTube, because we do get some good deals sometimes. And then other times we get in that bidding war, and we get in that zone where we want to win, and we know we overpaid. We know we're overpaying, but we want it, and we just keep going. You do on coins? Oh, that's right. You do coins. That's fabulous. I'll have to ask you to do some videos on that. That would be very interesting. My husband collects coins too. And if you have any more knives. I know that Silver Hair Stacker already hit you up on those knives, but those were fabulous. That was a fabulous offering. Yes, true. Auctions work well. If you do have any questions, put them in caps, or highlight my name some way. If someone complains not as described on their year, PayPal automatically garnished. I hate that. The buyer ends up getting the item for free. They need to be more strict with scam buys. Yeah, is that about eBay, Anita? I know that's happened, but don't sit on it. Because of this, and this is where your tenure comes in, because that happened to me. But I never sit on it. I call eBay, I call PayPal. That happened to me with a telephone that I sold, and in it I specified everything. It was an issue with the fact that the phone could not be started without a certain carrier, and they knew that. The person actually left me wonderful feedback, positive feedback about the phone. Said she loved it. And she had already, when she got it, and I had described it with all the problems, not problems, but with the fact that you had to have the certain carrier. So it was fully described. And she emailed me and said, oh, I'm having this problem. I can't get it, turned on or whatever. And then I said, oh, well, that's what I said in the listing and whatnot. She said, oh, it's okay. I love the phone. Left me positive feedback. A week later, she files that claim. Well, 2 weeks later, I keep the phone. I get my money because she sent the phone back. I keep the phone and I still get my funds. And she probably got her money too. So you just have to not let it sit. Don't ever let it sit. Call eBay, call PayPal, call them both. It doesn't matter. And sometimes they'll tell you, oh, it's going to take 10 days. We got to do this. We got to do that. You got to go through. They make you run, circles around. I mean, they really do make you jump through hoops, rather, and all of that stuff. But when we're talking $200 for a phone, you darn tootin', I'm going to keep calling. And that's what I do. So, yeah, that's a new thing that they're doing. But again, if you're in the right, do not give up like that. They will listen to you as well. At least they have for me many times. That's just one story. Another time was that Louis Vuitton that I bought, that he didn't disclose that it had a peeling on the inside. I had paid like $500 for it. Well, they told me to keep the bag. They gave me the money, and they released his funds as well. I don't know how. Maybe he was a longtime seller. or something. I don't know, what their reasoning is or their judgment call, but that's what they did. So yeah, I was really pleased with that. That's one thing. And the thing is, you can talk to a real person. When you're doing this on Macari, it's email after email where you almost exhaust it. You're almost like, I'm done. You have to have the stamina to do that. Whereas in eBay, they will talk to you by phone, and so does PayPal. Let me see if we have any more here. What looks like devil horns? I just read that really quickly. That's another thing about when they bring up new software and new things that eBay wants you to do, you have to read everything, and I tend to skim things. Adelaide is here. Norma. Hi, Norma. Debbie, I think I said hello to her. So any other questions? Let me go back down here. If I missed it, repost it for me. You open an eBay account. What's the best source for a beginner to learn how to use it? Start selling. Don't open a store yet. But if you do like it and you want to keep doing it, get that starter store for $19.99 a month, because once you're established yourself as a trustworthy seller, you get a wonderful shipping discount. You get the free tape and all of that. And I love the free tape. Believe me, I don't like buying tape. I love when I find it thrown at the post office. The red necklace that looks like devil horns. Where? Where's the red? Here? Over here? This one? I don't know. People are always talking some sinister things in there. Wow. Oh, this one. Yes, it does now that you say that. Not devil horns. I was thinking longhorns, especially since it's orange. Texas longhorns. I don't think it looks like devil horns. It's very interesting, though, but we'll see what it sells for. You can get $25 coupon for your starter store, and then as you increment a little bit, hey, how are you? Good to see you here. 5 J's makes us 5, Miss Jenny. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, this was a Tory Burch, and it was broken when it came out of the jar. My husband fixed it. He had to put all rings. He changed them all so they could be uniform because it was missing like 2 on one side. So he didn't want it to look out of whack there. Hey, Swamp Picker, Viking horns. Oh, see, you can make your own. I really want to find this. I didn't even get a chance to research it. I had no idea eBay put it on auction for me, but they did. I know. People are seeing all kinds of things in my jewelry these days. I did get a fabulous find from one of the Facebook auctions that I went to the other day. The Absolute Auctions. It's got a heart within a heart, and it's gold, gilded, but it's $9.25. I love that. Got a great deal on that. So those auctions are addicting. They really are. And I know people are addicted to the ones on eBay as well. And then I got this beautiful toggle as well with a heart-shaped amethyst from the same Absolute Auctions. I love it. It's such a heavy necklace too. Pretty, pretty. Lapis. I hope nobody sees anything sinister in the hearts. It's funny what people see though, right? I mean, you would think, the only reason I put it up was because it's Tory Burch. That's why I was really in a hurry to get it on there. I guess in such a hurry that I put it on auction, didn't even realize it. See, that's the thing. They changed the mobile app. They change everything around. They put in things like automatic price reduction where it'll go down like I think 10% every month until it sells. And Macari does things like that too. So you really have to be very, very wary of how you read those websites. They are not always, their interfaces are not user-friendly, believe me. They're made for generating fees, in my opinion. But in the end, like I said, there's nothing like eBay. People who say they hate eBay go there to buy, to sell on other sites, and you know it. They absolutely do. That's where they go to source. That's where they go to find the unique items. That's where they go to find the vintage that they can probably sell a little bit higher, or they think they can, on eBay. We talked about that last week. So let me see if I have any other questions. Thank you so much. Is that Cassie or Cassie? I appreciate that. El collar le queda bello. Gracias. ¿Este, Nitza? ¿O este? I'm trying to think. You know what it reminds me of? A lifesaver. I was telling my husband that we got some bids on. He said, which one? I said, the one that had like a giant lifesaver. So it looks like to me. Oh, gracias. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Normally, I would be going to help my friend Liz at her showcase sale, but she's on hiatus right now. As you know, there was a glitch with her PayPal. She had done some raffles on the live, on her live feed for some virgin jewelry jars. And I think that really kind of put up I don't know, I guess kind of a scrutinization with PayPal, but she's getting that taken care of. I hope she's back soon, because I'll tell you one thing. I just mentioned some things that I got from her, right? And when she first started, she was the first one, first of all. She was the first one here on YouTube to start selling. And she did it as a buy it now. And the jewelry that she finds is very unique. She has everything from natural stones to genuine precious metals, 14 karat gold, that kind of thing. Very unique. So we loved it, and she priced it to sell it. And it was very, very competitive. And but it was something that a lot of people still enjoy. We can't wait for her to get back. People scoffed a little bit about her prices being too low. They criticized her here and there, but she's a wonderful girl. She's a wonderful woman who never takes anything personal. She is such a sweetheart. When people have insulted her in chats, in her chat and other chats, she always turns the other cheek. She has never been one to confront, which I admire about her. But more than that, she's an absolute generous person, very much so that she's held auctions at least 3 times to benefit 2 YouTubers and even her neighbor who was struggling with a certain crisis in her life. So to say that she's generous is an understatement. To say that she's a genuine sweetheart is an understatement. So please be sure and check her channel. That is Makeup Zombie. I'm going to link her channel. Be sure and subscribe to her. She certainly doesn't need for me to shout her out, because she's been climbing, I think, close to 6,000 or 7,000 subs already in less than 2 years, something like that. So she doesn't need the shout out, but I want you to go see her unjarrings. I want you to go see what she does with DIYs. She loves every piece of jewelry she pulls out, and she turns them into works of art. She does phone cases. She does all kinds of beautiful things with them. And it's a pleasure to watch her unjarrings, because not only does she appreciate every piece, but she's got a very melodic voice. She's got an endearing laugh. And she just makes the whole experience of unjarring a jewelry jar an experience, is what she does. So I want you to go binge on her channel, binge on her videos. I will link it. And hopefully we'll all be back there in a couple of Sundays from now, so we can enjoy her wonderful sales. Now, I did have a maiden voyage the other night on my auction, and I was just going to test the waters a little bit. It went really well, and I want to thank you guys who showed up. I am going to be doing it on Saturday. I think that's a good time to do it. But I haven't had the main auction yet. This was just, like I said, a little test run. I sold a few things, and that's what I want to do. If you're interested in it, please email me at thelmahoards@gmail.com. I'll put that in the listing too, or rather the description. So you can let me know, and I'll send you an invite. I do want to keep it private. I don't want it to be public where just all kinds of people will show up that just want to gawk and scoff and fight and whatever. So that's the way I think it's going to work best, and I do want to have it probably early Saturday, or maybe mid-afternoon on a Saturday. I think it worked out really well. I also want to be able to post lots there, like jewelry lots, virgin jewelry jars, and individual lots of, let's say, wearable and sellable or crafter lots. And I think that'll be a great place for us to kind of kind of gather. There's no charge for the group or anything like that. It's just a lot of fun. And I hope that I hear from you about it, because I really would like for you to be there. And I want to thank you so much for being here today. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about another site. If you have any suggestions for future A-lister type of topics, please leave them in the comments below or in the chat. I do read the chat at the end of the video. And I hope that you have a wonderful, prosperous week. And I hope I can sign out of here with not too much of a glitch like I normally do. End stream. Oh, it's so clear now. Wonderful.